So welcome back to part 2 of day 2. This is our 103-mile day. Now we left you in part 1, right where Trail 89, the Anderson Dairy Trail, crossed the 01. And now we have just gone through the first 50-inch gate of this trail. This hill is pretty much right after the gate. First hill climb you come to is right as you pass through the first 50-inch gate. I mentioned in part 1 that this Trail 89 is one of our favorite trails, without a doubt. We do this trail every single trip. This trail is a must-do for me every time we come down here. Now, as I mentioned, this trail is a 50-inch trail. There are some pretty tight sections, some pretty tight trees you got to go through. Some of these little bridges here that are 50-inch, pretty tight. It is a black diamond trail, and for me, for a pretty good reason. There are a few pretty difficult climbs. You get to the lower end of the Trail 89, which we're not going to be doing in this video, but it's super tight in through the trees. But yeah, this is a black diamond 50-inch trail, and I'd say, yeah, probably accurately rated as such. When you get up here, you can see there's a fire that came through here years ago. I think it's about 10 years, I don't know. But this part of the trail is just, it's kind of eerily beautiful and quiet. It's just one of those sections of the Paiute Trail that are completely unique to any other part of the Paiute Trail. Just this burn section and a little bit of new growth in between. Just love this part. I want a big shout out to Fish Lake National Forest and the Paiute Trail Committee and all the volunteers that went through this year and replaced all these bridges and boardwalks along the trail. For those of us that come down and ride down there, we sure do appreciate the effort you guys put into maintaining these trails. So this is where we stopped off for lunch for the day. There's a little picnic table right here in the trees. Good spot in the shade. This was, I don't know, it was about noon or so. Seemed like a good time to stop. We still had a lot of miles left to do at this point, but didn't get much of a breakfast, so we stopped and had our lunch right here at this picnic table. So this is your first look at one of the kind of elk gates along this trail. You'll see they are 50 inches wide. They're kind of dug out underneath like a cattle guard. This one is missing the kind of triangle piece that goes in the middle that you drive over. You can see it on the left side of the trail here. But yeah, the fences in these gates were put up, I guess, to keep the elk out of this burned area, to keep them from eating the new growth. But several of these along this trail. Another one of these elk gates. You can see this one does have the piece in the middle. You got to drive up and over as you go through it. Now this is where the trail splits. Trail 89 continues off to the right. Goes across that really long, beautiful new boardwalk right there. And you go that way, the trail tightens up a lot through a really, really thick wooded area. We're going to stay left. We're going to go on the 87. I like this 87 because it's kind of a nice mix, especially in the fall. You see the colors, but it's a nice mix of some of the new growth and the old burn. You see a little bit of that together, makes kind of a nice contrast. Now if you listen carefully, you'll hear a nice little clunk 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 as I go through this gate. I do drag the bottom on these gates on the Trail 87. And there are several of these elk gates along Trail 87. Like I say, I drug the bottom. More of a kiss than a drag, but I do hit the bottom on every single one of these gates on this trail. So as we're cruising out here on the flats, it just kind of got me thinking, this Trail 87, Trail 89, these are the reasons that I bought a 50-inch machine. You know, I'm not into the flying around and the catching air and the blowing up, donuts and everything else. I bought a 50-inch machine because I enjoy just cruising, and I enjoy these 50-inch trails. To me, that's what this is all about in my mind. I am a 50-inch trail guy. I can't imagine having a wider machine that I could go do all that other junk with and just miss out on stuff like this. This is what it's all about for me. So this is the end of Trail 87. meets up with Trail 86 going through this 50-inch gate here. This is Upper Box Creek Reservoir. Now there isn't a lot of water in it, and you know, I was here in June and there wasn't a lot of water in it then. But this is where we're going to leave you for this part 2. Part 3 we're going to continue from this point, turn right on this 86 and head out to where it meets the 01 and go around the southeast corner of the Paiute Trail system to some of our favorite trails over there. But I appreciate you taking the time to watch the videos, and we will see you in part 3.